Welcome the students of class 7. Welcome to our social science e-learning class. And today in this class we're going to discuss about a new chapter from your history book. It is the Mughal Empire. Okay, the Mughal Empire, and it is present in your book page number 45. So if you have history book, you can open the book and follow the lesson. So you know that the Mughal Empire is one of the biggest empire of India in the medieval period, just after the Delhi Sultans. So what happened at the time? They made big monuments, huge. They had a huge army, as well as they also made a very strong administrative system in India. And today also in modern independent India also taken some rules and regulations from the Mughal administration. Okay, but can you imagine that at the time how big was the Mughal Empire? And it is very difficult to rule such a large territory as the Indian subcontinent with such a diversity of people and culture. And it was extremely difficult thing. In different parts of the country, today also different languages, food habits, okay, the different cultures, the religions, everything practiced. Okay, so in civics, class 6, first chapter, you have read already about the diversity of India. So can you imagine that how could they unify the entire country, okay, with their some rules, regulations and administrative reforms. That from the late 16th century, Mughals expanded their kingdom from Agra to Delhi, and until 17th century they controlled nearly all of the subcontinent, okay, up to South India. And they imposed structures of administration and ideas of governance. Some of them were taken from Sher Shah and Alauddin Khilji's administration, but more or less it was a new administrative system which was also followed by the Britishers when they ruled in India, as well as our modern Indian state. In constitution, lot of things, in our judiciary, in our regular life, in the land revenue assessment, all these things, they also influenced greatly by the British administration and their rules and regulations. So the political legacy of the Mughals also followed by the succeeding rulers of the subcontinent. When the Mughal Empire declined, the succeeding rulers of subcontinent, okay, and the small kingdoms, they also followed their rules, regulations, administrative structures. And today our respected Prime Minister of India, he also raised the flag. He also raised the flag of our nation, independent India, in Independence Day from the ramparts of the Red Fort in Delhi, which was made by Shah Jahan, Mughal emperor, and the residence of Mughal emperors at that time. And the ramparts means the fort walls. Okay, so now today we're going to discuss about who were the Mughals. Okay, so who were the Mughals? We have to know first that Mughals were the descendants of the great clan or family, two great clan or family, and from mother side the Mughals were the descendants of Chengiz Khan from mother side. Okay, the descendants of Chengiz Khan. And Chengiz Khan, you know, a ruler, the great Mongol leader and emperor who established a huge Mongol emperor from Mongolia, from in south it is China, including the most of the part of Russia and today's Bulgaria and the Central Asian states, including the areas of some part of Middle East also. Okay, so it is a huge empire established by Genghis Khan, and Genghis Khan born on 1162 in the province called Khamag Mongol. It is in Mongolia, it is a province, and died in 1227 AD. And he declared himself as an emperor on 1206. And in that time, when India was ruled by the first Mameluke ruler, Qutbuddin Aibak. Okay. And from father side, they belong to the descendants of Timurid. Timurid means also known as Taimur Long. Okay. In Hindi, in India, they are called Taimur Long. And Taimur born in 13. So Taimur born in 1336 up to 1405 AD and attacked India several times. They both attacked India several times, but the Genghis Khan not entered inside the country at the time, but Taimur did so, and he was captured Delhi twice, and he also sat on the throne in 1370 AD. Okay, so 1370 AD. Okay. And he was born in today's Uzbekistan. Okay. Shahrizabad, a city in Uzbekistan today. He was belonged to that city, and a statue was there also established by the Uzbek government today in Uzbekistan on that city. And Taimur ruled modern day Iraq, Iran, also the Turkey. So a huge area also ruled by Taimur. And another thing I want to mention, that is Genghis Khan. The another name of Genghis Khan, it is Temujin. Okay, Temujin is the another name of Genghis Khan. Temujin. Okay, so these are the ancestors of Mughals, but they not happy with the ancestry of Genghis Khan, and they were not mentioned the ancestry of Genghis Khan because the memory of Genghis Khan was associated with the killing of millions of people, killed because Genghis Khan's Mongol army killed millions of people in Central Asia, in some part of China, and including some part of Russia and Central Asia, and in the borders of India, those Punjab, those regions. So it is very humiliating for them to mention their ancestry, that Genghis Khan was their ancestor. And another thing, that the Uzbeks, you will read later that the Babur, the founder of Mughal emperor, also exiled by the Uzbeks from Fargana, and Fargana is his father's state, a small state in Uzbekistan, present day Uzbekistan, Fargana, and from where Babur was outcast by the Uzbeks, and the Uzbeks was somehow the descendants of the Genghis Khan. So that's why they never mentioned their ancestry. The Genghis Khan mentioned themselves as the ancestors, descendants of the Genghis Khan. But though they proud of their Timurid ancestry, why? Because they proud of their Timurid ancestry because their greatest ancestors had captured Delhi in 1398, and they celebrated their and they also celebrated their genealogy pictorially with the Timur. Means that each ruler getting a picture made of Timur and himself. And that kind of picture also mentioned in your book, figure number 2, that the 10 rulers, the 10 Mughal emperors are sitting with the Timur-Long. In this picture you can see it is made by the Mughal painters. So in this way they proud of their Timurid ancestry because they had attacked Delhi previously, and they were feeling proud on their Timurid ancestry. Okay students, so you have understood who were the Mughals, from where did the Mughals came to India, and next class we will discuss how did they defeated the last sultans of Delhi, that is Ibrahim Lodi, and captured the throne of Delhi. So that's all from today. I hope you have understood, students. So read this first subunit carefully at home. Thank you for watching. See you in the next class.